Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to show you how to create your first JSP view in Spring Boot web application. So let's start. At first, we will have an overview of Java Server Pages or JSP. In case you are wondering what a JSP is a document that contains both static and dynamic data. JSP comes in the format of HTML, XML, SVG or WML. In our case, we will use the HTML format of JSP. JSP is basically a server-side technology that helps us to create dynamic and platform-independent web pages. We can have dynamic data in JSP using Java code. And JSP are extended version of Servlet. Now, what is Servlet? Servlet is basically a Java class which will extend the capabilities of server by hosting application using a request-response model. In our case, we will use the Tomcat server. As you can see, this is the JSP container. Here, the Tomcat will act as a JSP translator and it will convert the JSP page .jsp file into Servlet source code or .java file. Then, the embedded Java compiler or the server, the Tomcat server will again convert the .java file into .class file, which will be converted into text buffer using the Java Runtime Environment JRE, and this text buffer will be sent to the client machine as a response. In this way, JSP will work with the Tomcat server. Now let's go to our Eclipse to create our first Spring Boot application with the JSP view. This is my Eclipse. Here I will go to File, New, Project. Then I will choose the Spring Starter project. Click Next. Change the name of the project. I can just give Spring JSP. Then choose the type. I will choose Maven. Then the packaging will be jar. Language is Java. And the version I will choose 22 because the JDK version in my system is 22. You can choose the version in which your system works. Then the group ID will be com.example. I can give the group ID as com.myname. You can give whatever name you want, com.rejushri, and the artifact name will be same as the name of the Spring project. The version is 0.0.1 snapshot. And here in place of package name, I will type the group ID, which is my name rejushri.demo. So, the package name will be group ID plus artifact ID. Then click Next. Here I have to choose Spring Web because I am going to create a web application which will run on Tomcat server. So I have to search Spring Web and add that dependency. I am adding the Spring Web dependency. Then I will click on Finish. As you can see on the lower bottom, it's importing the dependencies. So you will have to wait for some time. After it finished installing the new project, you can see the project appears on the Project Explorer on the left as Spring JSP. So here, if I click on the pom.xml file, I can see the dependency Spring Boot Starter Web. So if I don't add this web dependency, then it will not run the web application on the server. And with this Spring Boot Starter Web, we get the embedded Tomcat server as our dependency. So we don't have to add any external Tomcat server as we used to add in Spring MVC. You can see the Tomcat server here below. But this Tomcat server will not be used. It has an embedded Tomcat server. Now, if I go to Java folder and inside that we have the Spring JSP application.java. So, this application contains the main function and from here the application will start running. For our JSP view, I will create another package inside the Java folder. The package name I will give com. The package name I will give com.rejushri.demo. See, this package name and this package name should be same, com.rejushri.demo. The package inside which we have the main function from where the Spring Boot application will start running should be at the top. And inside that we can have a sub package, then only the JSP file will run. So, I will create a sub package inside demo. I will name the package as controller. So inside com.registry.demo, we have another package as com.registry.demo.controller and click on finish. Remember, this package should be inside the parent package, which contains the Spring Boot application.java file with the @Spring Boot annotation, @Spring Boot application annotation. Now inside this controller package, I will create a new class which will contain the controller. The name of this class I will give my controller and finish. This will be our Spring controller. This controller class will be responsible for handling incoming HTTP requests and returning an appropriate response. They will act as an intermediate between the client and the application's business logic. So, if we have a particular JSP page which will redirect to a particular URL, we will configure it using this controller class. To mark it as a controller class, I have to use the annotation @controller. Control space, enter. So this @controller annotation will mark this class as a controller class. Now we have to create the UI of the web application, right? So for that, I will use the JSP file with the HTML format. The JSP file will be inside the src inside main folder. So in the main folder, I have to create a new folder named web app. Create this folder, and inside this web app folder, I will create another folder whose name will be views. Let's click on finish. Inside this view folder, I will create my JSP file. Click on other and click on this JSP. If you don't get this option JSP, just search here, type here JSP and you will get this option. Click on JSP file, then click on next and give the name of your file. You can give any name. I will give index. So my first JSP file index.jsp is created inside the views folder of the web app folder. So here I want to display in my web application as my first JSP view page. So inside h1 tags, I will give my first JSP in Spring Boot. Now, how to get this particular page? Because by default we can't get this page, right? We have to tell the controller to navigate to a particular URL to display this page. So I will go to my controller class. Here I will create a function public string home. Inside this function I will return this particular page. So inside this function I will return index. Fine. The name of my JSP page is index, so I will return this index page. And I also have to annotate this function with @request mapping annotation. And inside that I have to give the URL slash, or you can give the URL slash home also. But for now I will give slash, save it. And also you have to import the request mapping annotation. So I have imported the particular package. Now you can see I just returned index. But how will the Spring Boot application or the Spring container know that index refers to this index.jsp? Because it doesn't know where it stays. For that we have to set some application properties. I will go inside src main resources and from there I will click on application.properties. Here I have to set the path of the JSP file. Here I will set the path of the JSP file. So I will just type prefix. As you can see, you have to click on the option Spring MVC View Prefix. Select this option and then mention inside which folder the JSP files lie. I will select the folder /views/. So it will search for this particular folder and then it will map the name index inside it. But how it can map? Because it can be of JSP type, it can be of HTML type, any type. So we also have to mention the suffix, that is .jsp. So type here suffix and select this particular option spring.mvc.views.suffix. Click enter and here type .jsp. Let's save it. Now let's run our application. So I will go to my spring application.java containing the main class. Here I will right click and click on run as, and then you have to click on the Spring Boot app, not Java application. We have to run the application as a Spring Boot. As you can see, our application is running. To view our application, I will go to my browser and on the URL I will type localhost 8080. Click on enter. As you can see, something is getting downloaded here. Whenever I press enter on the URL, something is getting downloaded. The reason is, although we have the Tomcat server which comes by default with the Spring Web dependency, but we don't have the necessary library to convert the JSP file into Servlet. For that we have to add the library which is Tomcat embed Jasper. So I will go to my Chrome browser. I will search for Tomcat embed Jasper. Then I will click on the first link in the Maven repo. Then I will just click on any of the versions. Suppose this particular version, I will copy this version and I will add to my pom.xml. Click on the pom.xml. Here I will add the dependency Tomcat embed Jasper, and this Jasper is the Tomcat's JSP engine. This Jasper will parse JSP files to compile them into Java code as servlets, and at runtime, Jasper will detect changes to JSP files and recompile them whenever needed. After adding this dependency, I will save it. I will stop my server and I will again run it. Run as Spring Boot application. Let's go to our browser. Localhost 8080. As you can see, my first JSP in Spring Boot is displayed. So our web application is working fine. This is how we integrate JSP with Tomcat server in Spring Boot application. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, like and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching my video. Have a nice day.